Okay, here we are.
Howdy.
Howdy doody. Kevin's in a good mood. Okay, we have to get a camera ready first, but here he is, straight from school on day 2 of week 3. Was that a VI sign you just
was,
did?
with
Let me
3 fingers.
VI till I die.
There you go.
Very nice. Okay, that's Virgin Islands, people. Here's Kevin, home from school. Hey, honey, how was truck driving school today?
Funny you should ask. First of all, this morning.
First of all, you have to touch your face. You do that every time.
After
It said
roll
you gotta
call.
touch your
after
face
roll
again.
Call. After roll
What?
call.
Oh, sorry, we're skipping. The record was skipping.
I got to move a tractor over and back it up and hook up a trailer and then pull it out and around.
Yeah.
And then it was time to practice our vehicle inspections. So we were working away at that when the instructor yelled, "Okay, come over and put your name on the list." So
What list?
They didn't continue the list from yesterday. So a lot of guys only got one ride yesterday, like one try yesterday at maneuvers. So today, whole new list. I got my name on there, like, I don't know, 10th or something like that, and the page was just about full. Pretty much full. So I did get the chance to do a maneuver, but today it was only one maneuver. Choose your offset, or you can do a parallel. And
Either or.
this is the instructor that uses a stopwatch. He says after 5 minutes, if you don't have it, you have to get out of the truck and give somebody else a chance. So we're trying to get everybody, to get a turn, right?
Yep.
So I got to do a parallel parking maneuver because I wanted more practice at that. And I did much better than yesterday's attempt at parallel parking, so that's good. I wasn't unhappy with the results. I had to do one. I got into the position to back into the spot, and I knew I was wrong, but the instructor was, giving some directions. But he said you have to move it over, and I said, "Yep, I'm gonna pull ahead, turn right, and then left, and then I'll be lined up better. I'll see 2 cones." And then I started going back into the spot. And I made my turn at the right time, and then pulled up, and I was in the box.
Nice.
So much
Without
better.
any injured cones.
No cones were hurt during the making of this film. And so that was good. And I took the time and watched other people, and then rehearsed it in my mind, and read my directions over and rehearsed it in my mind. So I was very prepared. It turned out pretty good.
Good.
So then,
That's great.
Yeah. Then we broke for lunch. Came back from lunch. I looked at the list, and a bunch of other people had been added. So now we had like 22 names on the list, I think.
All waiting for a turn.
Well, I hadn't finished the list yet.
Oh.
By lunchtime, there were still maybe four or five names, people who hadn't gone, and now 4 or 5 more people had been added. So I'm thinking, by the time we get through all this, I really doubt I'm going to get a second turn today.
Mm-hmm.
So went and started practicing my inspection, and then Dan came over. He said, "Can I join you?" So we got in the cab, and I did the whole in-cab inspection. And
I'm sorry, one moment.
What?
There is a truck available for you to get in the cab just to do your inspection?
To practice the inspection, yes.
Really?
That's
that
also the truck where they take a person out to do their road test, their exam. So when
okay.
it's parked there, we can play with it.
Okay.
And on the
But
south
you
side,
can't drive it while
no,
it's
we're not
there.
driving it. And on the south side, there was another truck parked for us
Just
to
for
practice.
good looks?
Just for us to practice our inspection.
Okay.
So we each did a in-cab inspection, and then got out and continued with the rest of the truck inspection. And then I heard somebody whistle and yell or something. So we went running over.
Was it like a...
No. So we went running over, and Joseph, the instructor, was standing there with 3 guys. So I walked up. He said, "Yes, did you have a question?" I said, "I heard a whistle. I thought you were calling me." No, he says, "Go back to your inspection."
Oh,
So I
what
went
a letdown.
back, and I watched, and he took those 3 guys and got in a truck. So those guys are going for a ride.
Yeah.
And it was Vladimir and Rob and one of the guy who's a week ahead of us. So he's probably just about getting ready for his test, right?
But the other two, this was their first time going off on a truck adventure?
Are in my class, and it's their first time going in the truck on a ride.
Okay.
That's cool. So Dan and I went back to our thing, and we got near the back of the truck, and I saw the instructor was the same guy was back, and he's kind of looking at his clipboard and looking around. So we walked up to him. And I said, "Yeah, you looking for somebody?" And he looks at me and Dan. He goes to Dan. He goes, "Have you been on a ride yet?" And Dan's like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah,
and
3
so
times.
He's like, "Get in the truck." And
To who? To Dan?
So Dan's like, "Wait a minute. I've been out 3 times. Thursday afternoon, twice on Friday, and half a day yesterday." So the instructor kind of gets it. He looks at me. He goes, "Have you been on the road yet?" I said, "Just last Thursday, I got to drive around the block over by Werner's terminal." He says, "Get in the truck."
Oh, well, can I just give kudos to Dan here?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Oh, big thanks. He stepped up there.
Yep.
And he knows he's had more time at the wheel than anybody else in our group, and we still can't figure out why. He just keeps getting picked, and nobody
His magnetic personality.
Yeah, nobody else has had time at the wheel except me.
Yeah.
So I was glad to be going because I wanted more time at the wheel, and I knew there was a small chance I was going to get another turn at maneuvers this afternoon. So I jumped in the truck. Said good afternoon to the guys, and the instructor got in, and he said, "I'm going to do a demo first. Like, I'm going to drive around, and then one of you guys is going to get at the wheel. It's going to be the guy in his 4th week." So he got the passenger seat. We went out of the yard and took a left and then a right. So we were pretty much across the street from Roadmaster's school, which is owned by Werner. And then
yeah, because everybody's in the same little neighborhood.
Yeah, so we went
like the trucker
down
neighborhood.
that street, turned right onto Lower Buckeye, then turned right, went up 51st, turned right onto Buckeye, right past PHX 6.
If you're not following this, by the way, people, we're in Phoenix.
We're in Phoenix.
So if you're looking those names up, it's in Phoenix, Arizona.
So basically just went around a big area, and then he turned up 43rd and headed to I-10.
Oh.
On the interstate going west, and like the next, or 2 exits later, was the 202, which is another freeway going south. He took that, and then he got off of that and back onto Lower Buckeye, right past our school, took a left.
I'm sorry, this is the instructor or the first guy?
This is the instructor.
He's driving all that distance.
Because he's demonstrating, and here's how we shift, because the other 3 of us are like sitting in the back like, whoa, what's going on, So I'm talking to Rob, he's next to me, and because I've seen it, I saw it last week. I said, you see where he's shifting? He says, what's the shift pattern? I said, well, it's an H, and you have like 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit the selector, and you go back to the first one, 5, 6, 7, 8. We always start off in second. We don't even use first gear or the low gear. We start off in second. That's cool. So he's looking at me, and Rob is one of the best guys in our class for doing the maneuvers. He slides the truck right into the parking spots, and he'll line it up perfectly, and everybody's like watching him so they can learn what they're supposed to do. So I'm thinking, he's a natural, So we're driving.
Did he
around.
have some kind of background in it?
No, we're driving around, and then he lets the senior student get in the seat. We did the same course all the way around.
Wow.
Came back, so that guy he was having trouble shifting, and he missed a few, and hitting the clutch too hard, and so he's got a ways to go.
And I hope you all had your seatbelts on. I hope you all had your seatbelts on.
In the back seats,
yes.
Nobody did, and then I found mine and put it on, and the other 2 guys looked at me, and they started looking for theirs.
Okay, thank you.
I had my gloves
Thanks for being a leader.
Had my gloves on, had my mask on. So then
your hand sanitizer in your pocket.
Right there. So when we got back, he said, "Okay, it's Vladimir's turn. So Vladimir, I want you to watch." So he just took it around the block.
Like you did last week.
And he's shifting, and he's talking, he's saying, here's what you do, and here's this, and here's this. And then Vladimir got in the seat, and he didn't even make it 2 blocks. and the instructor said, okay, you're gonna have to let somebody else have a turn because we need to talk more about this. So then
what was he missing the gear, the shifting?
yeah, he was
gears,
missing the not shifting right.
Oh.
Yeah. So then the instructor brought it around the block again to the same spot. He said, okay, who's next? And I said, Rob, you want it? He said, nope. So now Rob, while we were in the back seats, and I'm talking to Rob, and I'm saying, yeah, did you see the RPMs and all this? And then when we went to the other guy was driving, I switched seats so he could see better, you know, the dashboard and the selector and the shift and everything and the gas. And at one point he's like, I'm so confused. I said, hey Rob, have you ever driven a standard transmission before? He said, no. I said, oh boy. I said, I should have brought my mouth guard today. I think I'm gonna lose some teeth when you get behind the wheel. He's like, thanks a lot. so
And a helmet.
Yeah, and a helmet. So you can just imagine, right, doing this every time he steps on the gas or the brake. So yeah. So anyway, he told me to go first. So I got in. And the instructor's like, you've driven before? And I said, well, last week a little bit, went around the block, but I can shift. He says, okay. So I got in there and I was shifting, I was making moves, and he gave us a couple of good pointers about how to just rock the clutch when you're double clutching, because I have a tendency to drive it all the way to the floor, which you're not supposed to do. But when I get carried away and I'm looking at, you know, traffic and everything, I do occasionally nail it to the floor, and then I start grinding gears again. So.
Which is a habit from driving a stick shift truck or
yes.
car, not a tractor.
So we went
So it's
out.
different.
A little. There are differences,
Okay.
and there's so much power in this engine. You don't need to give it gas to get it going. You can just let the clutch out slowly, and the thing will move. You can shift up into the next gear without touching the gas. Let the clutch out, and it'll keep rolling. You won't stall this thing. You have to work hard to stall this thing. So it's better in that sense. So we went out and around and over to another street, and then back down to Lower Buckeye, and then right past the school, headed up to Buckeye, drove past Amazon. He said, damn those slave drivers. I said, oh, you worked for Amazon? He said, yeah, I used to work there. I said, I worked right there, PHX 6. He said, yeah, what were you doing, picking? I said, yep, picking and packing. He said, oh, I was picking. Oh, the instructor worked at the same place, doing the same thing. So then we went to 43rd, and I'm saying, what's the next corner? We're gonna turn to 43rd? Yep, get in the left lane, get over, I'm shifting up, then I'm downshifting. Got up to 7th gear out of 8.
So you're on the
Buckeye.
highway?
No, I'm on Buckeye.
On Buckeye, you're up to 7?
In 7th gear, you can be doing like 35 miles an hour all the way up to almost 50 miles an hour.
In one gear.
And the streets there are like 40, 45 miles an hour. So and if I got a long enough stretch, and he's saying, don't take your time, get it, shift it up as fast as you can. Don't like dawdle and.
Did he give you a reason for that?
Basically, you're trying to get moving with traffic. You're not creating an obstruction or a hazard to traffic, and there's no point. If you're taking your time, you're revving the engine higher and higher and higher when you should be shifting to the next gear.
Okay.
So rev it, shift it, get her going.
Does it have anything to do with fuel efficiency?
No, it's
Does
just
that matter?
It's for the common safety and because that's how you're supposed to drive. You know, you're not supposed to drive like a granny and be doing 20 miles an hour and 45.
Oh, there goes Granny Trucking School.
So up we went to I-10,
Oh.
and I couldn't believe it. And he says, all right, get on the ramp, go on the interstate. I'm like, wow. So off we go on the interstate. And I'm like, man, look at this. I'm doing 60 miles an hour in 8th gear on the interstate driving a truck. Take my picture. and he's like, yeah, right. And Robin,
And you're like, no, I'm serious.
and I'm like, my wife always wants pictures of me doing this stuff, and I can't exactly do a selfie at 60 miles an hour. So Rob took, from the back seat, he took some pictures of me, and later I gave him my phone number, and he sent them to me. So
Awesome.
I got pictures of it.
Woo!
And we got
My honey on the
Yeah.
highway.
got to the exit ramp, geared down, hit that curve at 40, exactly as posted. Come out of that turn, and I was already hammering the gas. He says, next time wait a little longer before you speed up, okay? You're still in the curve. I said, oh, sorry.
I'm just excited and ready to go.
Back into overdrive, down we went, a couple miles, and then onto Lower Buckeye, right past the school again. and then into the side streets and stopped at the same spot. So basically all the way around and back where the other student had gone and where the instructor had done the demo.
Yeah.
And then he says, we need a little break, because he had to go to the bathroom. So he took us back to the school, and we took a little break. Everybody went to the bathroom, and then he said, I'm going to do another demo, because I want Rob in the front seat, watching every move, every shift and everything. And he did the whole circuit again around the interstate and everything. And then he got back to the same spot, let Rob into the seat, and we just went around the block in front of Werner.
And I will say, good for Rob. I mean, that takes a lot of courage. Your first time driving a stick shift, and you're doing it on a how many gears does this thing have?
It's a 9-speed.
9 gears, and
there's a selector switch you have to flick at the right time to get into the higher range. And he got it. He got it in there once. There was one stretch we were on where he actually got it in. But then most of the time it was like second, third, fourth, and then he'd already have to start slowing down for the next quarter.
But kudos to him.
Yeah,
I remember learning on a little pickup truck, and that you know, when you first start, it's really weird and awkward, and you're lurching and all this, and so wow.
So funny thing.
Funnier than that.
We have
What?
the mirrors on the door.
Wait a sec, I have to back up to get the width that you're showing.
We have the mirrors on the doors
okay.
for seeing the trailer and behind you. Right?
Yeah.
There's 2 more convex mirrors.
I'm backing up.
2 more convex mirrors on the bumpers way up at the front, so you can check your blind spots.
Okay.
Now when the student was driving his route, I saw the one in front of the driver was kind of hanging skewed, like it wasn't upright. It was kind of hanging down like that.
Like somebody already hit it
And
somewhere?
I thought, I wonder if somebody hit that or it just needs to be adjusted. So I was going to wait until my turn and then get out and, you know, adjust the mirror or something. The instructor got so when he was going to do, because he told Vladimir, okay, get in the passenger seat and I'll do a little demo. And then, so where he's parked, we got Roadmaster Truck School right there. And so he puts it in gear, and he's talking to Vladimir, and then he shifts to the next gear. He's talking, and all of a sudden he hammers the brakes. Damn it! He hits the brakes, and he pulled over and parked. And he said the mirror fell off. And he had to run back and get it. So that mirror was actually hanging there, ready to fall off all that time. The bolt had come off, and it was just kind of waiting for a jolt. So when he took off, it shook loose and fell right on the pavement. And he comes back and he's got the mirror and he's like, that's embarrassing, right in front of our competition. And look, there's the PTDI guys, their truck's falling apart all over the street.
Really great equipment, top of the line.
Top of the line. Yeah.
That's funny.
So anyway, that was fun. That was a thrill. That was well done. I was very, very impressed that I could get that thing going up the highway and kept it in my lane and did the downshifts at all the right times.
And how does it?
It's a little like when you come to an intersection, you're supposed to stop so that the instructor can see the whole crosswalk. Don't pull right up to it. So I usually stopped a little too late against the crosswalk.
And on the highway with the trailer attached, can you really feel wind resistance, or how does it feel different from our motorhome?
Actually, I did feel a crosswind going down the 202 with the wind coming from the west. The truck would shake a little every now and then, and the instructor said you might want to slow down a bit because it is windy. I said, is that the wind slamming into us like that? Because it was actually hitting. You could feel it like somebody had pounded the truck. And I said, you know, and our motorhome gets pushed around a lot. In crosswinds, it's really hard to keep it straight. And he said, yeah, trucks are like that too, because you got even more flat surface on the side. So in a crosswind, there's more hitting the truck, and we're empty. There's no load. That would have made it.
So if there is a load, it'll be a little more secure.
It's not pushed around as much. Yeah. But with no load, it's like you're sailing.
Wow.
So yeah,
well, good thing you're a sailor.
It was moving us. I had to steer into it a couple of times, and when you're going over a bridge, you're up higher. There's more wind, so you can feel it even more.
Interesting.
So that was good to learn. It was good to learn his little clutch trick. It was good to learn the shifting, because you're double clutching. So you're in a gear. You let.
Do I need to go over there and get the whole body shot?
I told you this before.
Yeah, but the people can't see what you're doing with your feet here.
So you.
Hold on.
No, I'm not.
No.
Sit down.
What?
You're
But
in
your
gear.
feet. Oh, okay.
You push in the clutch, slip it into neutral. Then you go to your next gear, push in the clutch.
Yeah, he just did something with his foot there,
Push in the
people.
clutch and push it into the next gear.
Oh, that was my big sock.
So when you're gearing down, you push in the clutch and pull it out of gear to neutral, and then you have to rev up the engine and then push in the clutch and go into your lower gear. So first of all, he's saying when you gear down, you should get it to about 1,000 RPMs, push in the clutch, put it in neutral, then step on the gas and bring it up to 1,500 RPMs, push in the clutch and go to your lower gear. So I did not know all of this before. The other instructor hadn't gone into it in so much detail, none of them. The points to be made are 1,000 RPM when you start gearing down, and you have to rev it to 1,500 and it'll go in with a flick of a finger. You have to rev it to 1,500 with the clutch released and the gear shift in neutral. If the clutch is in, it won't work. And if you're trying to pull it into gear and you start revving it, you'll just hear teeth mashing. So in neutral, bring it to 1,500, push in the clutch, and he was doing it with one finger. He was flicking it in and out of gear like that, gearing down.
Wow.
So I learned a lot from this guy today. He's a good instructor. He kept calm. There was never like excitement or panic or anything like that. Even when Rob was rolling through an intersection, he's like, "You better stop. You better stop. Stop. Okay, stop." So Rob finally just hammered the brake, and we all lost our lunch there. And he looks back at me. He says, "Don't say it." I said, "That's okay. I still got all my teeth."
Even without the guard.
Yeah, good instructor.
Okay, good.
Pretty good tips.
All right, well, you seem a lot happier today now that you've had some time behind the wheel.
Yeah, and I did talk to the head instructor today about getting extra time somehow, and he said check back on Friday, and if there's an opening on Saturday, you can come in and fill a slot and get some practice time in somebody else's place.
Okay, so they're trying.
Yeah.
But it does seem like there's no pattern to who they pull onto the truck.
Nope. Nope. So, but now there's 4 of us from our class who had time at the wheel.
And your class is 10?
Yeah, there were 10 of us in the classroom on the first week.
And is everyone still there? From your 10?
Yeah. So, and 2 guys got to actually go out to the range a day or 2 early, and 1 guy like disappeared for 4 days and then come back. So there's flow, but yeah, there's still the core group.
Okay.
You know.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
There'll be new truckers on the road soon.
Pretty soon.
Fantastic. All right, anything else?
Gee. Was there something else?
I don't know.
No, but I'll think of it tomorrow.
I think at your 9:30 lunch you had a lovely chat with your wife who was having breakfast.
And I was telling you, one of the guys in the class, his name is Ruben Roebuck.
Oh, yes!
And I kept hearing that name at roll call every morning. He's not in our class. He's a week ahead of us, but I'd hear his name every morning. So I finally got to sit down and talk to this guy. I said, "Your name is Roebuck?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Do you have any relatives in the Virgin Islands?" He says, "Yeah, my dad was from the Virgin Islands." And I said, "You been there?" He says, "No, but we have family all over. I'm from Oklahoma, and I've met people there who have the same last name, and turns out we're cousins. And you know, we got Roebucks all the way out to the Philippines, all over the U.S." I said, "Well, I lived in St. Croix, and our landlord was the Roebucks. The family was, was raised in the house where we rented, and at one time the guy owned the whole valley, and then he would sell off parcels and build houses and so on. But the one Roebuck guy is still there. He still holds a large piece of land.
Oh, there's a bunch of Roebucks still there.
He's farming in the valley there.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we know the Roebuck name in St. Croix very well. So we had a long chat about that.
That's very, very cool. What a small world.
Yep, very interesting.
That's amazing. That might be, that could be his uncle or his great uncle, because we lived in the house that was the first house on,
in the whole valley.
in that whole valley where the first Roebucks lived. So how neat.
Yeah.
Wow. We might have walked where his daddy walked as a baby.
Could be.
Crazy. Okay, well, thanks for that story. And I think sounds like you covered everything that happened today in class, in the trucks. Very cool. It's coming right along. And remember, everybody, you can comment below. You can ask questions or comment. You can give us the thumbs up. You can subscribe, which we hope you do. And with that, we hope you have a great day. That's it from Kevin and Tanya with love. Bye.